Hey, Crawlspacers, welcome to our ASM review show. Let's see who we rounded up from the internet to talk about a ton, I think at least a baker's dozen of Spider-Man titles on these next few shows. Let's see who we've got. We've got Josh. What's going on, Josh?
Hi. Sorry, I just came from work, so I haven't a chance to change.
Didn't we meet at work?
That works.
Look at that. You're looking great, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's good to be here.
So what was the gig tonight? Where'd you go?
Did a Spider-Man birthday party on the other side of the city, so whipped around the perimeter highway and
nice. Were you by yourself, or did you have a Miles, or did you have a Gwen, or you?
Just me today though. Spider Rise, the kid's name was Rise, was very excited to have Spidey come show up, and he had his whole suit on, and
how old was he?
What's that?
How old was he?
I think he just turned
35. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. He's in his 40s.
He's in his 40s. You were just in my house. No.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Anyway, welcome, sir. Let's see if someone else is dressed up like a goblin. JR. Yep. Yeah. Sure.
Hey, I just got home. Yeah, you're wrong. I didn't hang around a bunch of little kids though, because that would have really been creepy. But dressing up and then playing around little kids and stuff. That seems like that would kind of get a person arrested south of the border here. But I guess north of the border, I guess everything goes there. So.
Jared, you could always come play Santa Claus for me.
Oh,
I always did call you a
working on the beard.
Yeah.
All right. We also have Tyler. What's going on, Tyler?
I'd like to apologize for dragging you guys into the symbiote stuff because Death Spiral sure is something, huh?
Well, we'll talk about it.
We will.
I think I like it more than others, so we'll get there. And we also have Christina. What's going on, Christina?
I like Death Spiral, but we'll talk about it later. So
yes, yeah. It sounds like Tyler is on one side, we're on the other, Christina. We'll find out where we all land pretty soon. Lord knows we got enough books to land several spots. And we also have Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Well, speaking of Death Spiral, I hope I didn't spoil it for everybody. If you read my thing underneath below, for those who want a deep cut,
Spider Totem was Facade. There you go.
Torment was Facade all along.
No, Torment was Facade. There you go. Yep.
Yeah,
30-year-old
might
spoilers
as well be at this point. For those of you who know your Spider history like JR does, it probably knows all about Torment. Facade, I should say. Well, there you go.
I know Torment was Todd McFarlane's name of his story. What adjective?
Yes, it was. Yep, it was. I should. You know what? I should have put that. I should have put down that Torment was the lizard. There you go. Or Kirk Connors.
Did you see the solicits for 1,000? The new villain is called Ravage. I'm like, Ravage 2099? Like what? Come on now.
I mean, they do have copyright in the name. They do have the copyright in the name. Yeah, I mean, and of course, I have an idea who Ravage is, which I'm sure is going to come up in this.
Who is it?
Oh, Black Knight.
It looks like the Black Knight. Yeah. No.
We're 4 minutes in. Let's get Mike's predictions going already. What's issue 1000? Who is Torment? I'd love to hear it.
He is Peter Parker's cousin, aka Uncle Ben's illegitimate son.
Oh,
much anticipated character.
Yes.
Yeah, that's who it's going to be. It's very obvious that's who they're sending.
Uncle Ben's love child. Okay.
Yeah. Like gives a crap prediction because it's usually right.
Yeah,
I know. I'm like, okay, right. I can see that. Why don't you remember me, Peter?
Oh well, the theory is going around. The theory is going around that he's going to make the one I've seen of going around is that he's going to make Peter forget that he even has an Uncle Ben or Aunt May.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, he's basically his powers make him killer. That basically his powers going to alter his memory, and that's going to be so
he's Joe Quesada.
Yeah, that just
makes him forget Uncle Ben, his marriage, the whole damn thing. Okay.
Yeah, so
and
this
then
is
you
that.
get
This is
memory
basically.
back, and there will be a big splash page with like the comics over the all 1,000 issues.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I don't even need to spend the $10. You just
There's the comic.
Yep.
we'll find out in September if Mike is right. Be sure to be on that show, Mike. We want to see.
Oh,
if
I'll
you're right.
try. I'll try. Yeah, I'm sure.
All
I
right,
will
we
be,
got to
so.
get. We got to go through 989 first, JR. You're starting us off with symbiotes. Things I never thought I'd say.
All right.
Sorry.
All right, here we go.
Sorry. Okay, what?
Okay. I'm getting ready
What are you
here.
What are you doing? You okay?
Well, I was getting ready. I was pumping, you know.
Oh,
You know.
I thought the hemorrhoids were acting up. Huh?
Well, that too. But fortunately, I had a tube of Preparation H.
Oh
handy,
my God!
So you know, there shouldn't be any itching and scratching down here.
The itchy and
while,
scratchy show.
So anyway, like-
symbiotes.
oh,
Three of 'em.
symbiotes galore.
Oh, two of
Well,
them
first-
I cover. Yeah.
Well, you know, the story opens with Spider-Man and the Mary Jane Venom fighting Torment and the Carnage symbiote because
Okay.
right now Eddie Brock is asleep. And see, there he is. He's got there's little Z's, so you know he's asleep. All right. Anyway, Torment, of course, is using the Shocker's gauntlets because what better way to try to make a villain appear important is to kill a legacy Spider-Man villain. So Torment must really be important since he killed a classic Spider-Man villain. So we've all got to respect him more. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So he uses the gauntlets to vibrate the Venom symbiote off Mary Jane. Spidey comes to the rescue, and then he gets pummeled by the gauntlets. But nobody gets killed right now because we have to go into some bullshit villain talk. You know, where we have to explain that, you know, Torment can't kill, even though they're right there. Torment can't kill him because there's 4 more parts to this story, because the spiral isn't finished, which is the same thing we've been listening to for the last 5 parts. You know, instead of anyway. So, but finally, Eddie wakes up. He reasserts control of the Carnage symbiote. He chases Torment away because, again, we can't end the story right here. We got to pad this out for much longer. Anyway, as all the symbiote, Spidey and the symbiote Facebook group all get together, the scene shifts to our former hero, Norman Osborn, because Paul is our current hero, and as everyone knows, Paul is going to rise to the occasion very shortly, and prove why he's our hero. But anyway, Norman is pumping iron, and he tells Miles that he wants to pump you up. So he's in his.
Miles just looks.
I was about to say that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say that looks like Will Smith after Jada just punked him again. So,
God bless.
anyway, so Norman's pumping iron, and Miles is loitering about because right now he has absolutely nothing else to do except set up the upcoming miniseries.
You know, he's sitting in that chair
on Miles's face.
he's sitting in that chair that came with the action figure for the 2002 movie. Remember the Norman Osborn figure that came with the chair?
Yep. Yeah. The thing is, what's his hands doing down there? Has he got to go pee or something? And he's holding himself, you know, because he's, you know, oh God, Norman, stop monologuing. I gotta go.
He's also getting some gray hair. Listen to the monologue. Look at that. He's got some gray hair going, like Reed Richards.
At least he's back in his original costume instead of that other thing. What he was.
I'm happy about that too.
So anyway, Norman says, you know, Peter's a good man, but as a mentor to all you young IP leeches, he sucks. So I am going to teach you to take on me. So we're going to do a little aha, and we're going to be in a groundbreaking video, and you're going to take on me. So, okay. Anyway, so, well, it's time for more exposition because, again, we got far more parts to go. And so Eddie says, well, I had to take control of the Carnage symbiote because we don't have nearly enough symbiote characters. And since we made Mary Jane the symbiote, I had to have a symbiote. So I took Carnage because if I didn't take Carnage, somebody else would take Carnage and the stories would suck even more. But sorry, Pete, now he's learned your secret identity and he knows who Mary Jane is. And, oh, by the way, now he's, he'll eventually probably try to kill all of you later. But anyway, that's not the point of this story right now. Oh, by the way, your aging senile aunts are now in danger because he's trying to kill your families first. All right. So, well, Mary Jane says, I'm not going to stand for this. I'm going to call my latest boyfriend, who I ditched Paul for, Agent Venom, because to protect the ants, because as the Venom symbiote points out, just by talking to Flash, Mary Jane is getting a little wet down there.
Good God!
Wait a minute, that's exactly what's happening, right? What does he say? He says
pheromones.
Well, yeah, okay,
Pheromones,
same
yeah.
thing, right? Say Mary Jane smells like a woman in heat. Then I guess is what he's saying. So,
Lord.
anyway. So anyway, so we have that little, and of course, Peter is just absolutely okay with it. Hey, you want to screw Flash? All right, sure, why not? I mean, after all, I trashed my entire marriage, sold my marriage to you for the devil. So that pretty much shows you how much I care about you. So yeah, go ahead and screw that empty-headed ape. Okay, go right ahead.
Well, George, you're making stuff up. Move on.
Well.
Yes,
So,
even Mary Jane is like, stop talking, JR.
I'm just trying to give you guys an honest blow by blow of this story, and that's what
Anyway,
Mary Jane's going to be doing with
Here's
Flash.
Tyler's
Oh my
Tyler's
God.
guy right here. Look at
So-
that.
I'll have you know, JR, that is Agent Anti-Venom now. Thank you very much, because he's going to save the ants. So he's
Wait a minute.
Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute. So now is there an Agent Venom still?
No.
Anti-Venom. Agent Anti-Venom.
Well, that means that we have room for somebody to become Agent Venom, then, don't we? So maybe that's a little...
Don't give him any suggestions.
I know
My
what.
God.
Paul will become Agent Venom. But anyway, all right. So we
I got some bad news for you.
Spidey's symbiote tracker says, "Hey Eddie, why is he going to your house?" Well, of course, what we find out is that Dylan, Eddie's son, who we didn't know about for the first how many hundred issues of Spider-Man, he's sitting there with Paul, and Paul is trying to be a relevant father figure, and he sucks at it, of course, because nobody listens to a man with a bun. I mean, no one's going to take any fatherly advice from a man with a bun. So, but Paul is trying to relate. Paul is trying to relate to Dylan, which went about as well as when I tried to relate to Rachel once while driving her to school, and she says, "Dad, why are you talking to me this way?" Okay, so that was their failed attempt at fatherhood on my part. But anyway, so Dylan just decides he's going to be an asshat teenager. Just because that's, because the story requires him to be so. So he walks to the door, and holy cow, Torment is there waiting for him. To be continued. Boy, I just can't wait to. Wait a minute, doesn't that look like a? Wait a minute. It's like, what did he do? Did he rip off Heath Ledger's Joker's motif or whatever with a smile going around? Anyway,
It kind of does look.
I
like
think
that.
he's wearing a thong too. Some underwear.
So,
But
anyway,
anyway.
I can't wait for the next part because hopefully Dylan gets what's coming to him because he's being a snotty little teenager. So,
Wow, so much positivity out of JR. Okay, let's see what we got. What's the grade, JR? I'm kind of seeing it coming.
yeah. Well, let's see here. Weighing all the pros and the cons, I give it a D.
Jeez. Okay. Let's go to Tyler. Let's see how the symbiote fan likes this one. What do you got? Give it, Tyler.
I'll give this one a C+.
Okay. C+. Wow. Josh?
I'll go with a D.
A D. Mike.
I think a C+ is actually kind of fair for this one.
Okay. Christina.
B+.
I'm with Christina. I'll give it a B.
Oh,
I liked it. I liked it a lot. JR.
Which cover
hear
did you
it.
get then that made it better for you?
Oh, I just got the standard one.
Oh, all right. Well, I got the one where Peter's the vampire biting Mary Jane on the neck.
Well, let me see that one. Let's see that one. Is that an upside down kiss one?
Yeah, well, sort of a
cool.
kiss, but I thought it was originally the upside down kiss, and then I bought it and I got it home and I said, "Oh crap, it's a vampire one." I wouldn't.
And
have
it
bought
literally sucked in more ways than one.
Yeah, I wouldn't have bought it if I'd known that. So anyway,
Yeah. Rose, JR, what did you like? What prevented it from being an F for you?
well,
You
it
weren't
didn't personally
offended.
offend me. It was just bad. Yeah, I mean, to be an F has got to personally offend me. Well, pros.
Art? Art's good.
That's my pro.
Spidey's tracker started working again.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Christina, let's hear your pros.
Yes, art is one. I don't know why, but I find it interesting the interactions between Carnage and Torment going on, and their sick relationship they have going to be having to go on and stuff. And then I'm a sucker for this stuff, and so I'm just really into the story going on.
Yeah, I am too. I don't know why I like this story. I think it's more tightly told than Maximum Carnage ever was. I like the hook of the villain. That's one of my pros. I like that he does family trees. He kills family trees. I think that's a unique villain motif. And connecting the Watsons, the Parkers, and the Brocks I think it's kind of interesting. Tyler or Josh or Mike, anybody, feel free to start. What do you like?
I mean,
Go ahead, Tyler.
I do get to see Ed McGuinness draw Agent Anti-Venom. Like he only drew Space Knight Venom before. I don't think he ever drew like classic Agent Venom. So this is I get to see that, and I like seeing Flash do like some like symbiote rescue operations, and I like Mary Jane has his number, and that's a whole other thing. But no, I do enjoy that, and then I will also say I do think it's a very good gag at the end that Dylan is a little piece of garbage Spider-Man dive player in Marvel Rivals. And so,
he's a what?
Yeah,
he's a dive player. It means
what's a dive player?
He gets behind enemy lines.
In other words, you're
because he's a piece of garbage.
Yeah, because I mean, if you play Spider-Man in Marvel Rivals that's how you have to play him essentially because he can easily get killed if you try to do direct attacks and stuff like that.
I downloaded Marvel Rivals and I played it for like half an hour, and of course, you know what character I played. And Spider-Man just kept dying, and so I then went to Venom, and I'm like, Venom just beat everybody up, and then I was like, this sucks. If I can't play Spider-Man, I'm out. You
can play the Hulk. The Hulk kind of does the same thing, as well.
Yeah,
so,
I think it's not something. But anyway,
yeah,
I was done.
But anyway,
it's generally a good joke, and I like that they joke about nerfing Gambit because I always
Gambit's like Gambit being OP. But I mean, what I kind of found interesting, I know some people were kind of like have been pretty critical of Mary Jane throughout the story. I do think that the conversation that the thing was after we get the expository stuff from Eddie about why he bonded with Carnage and why what was going on, everything like this. I mean, some people were reading this were giving her a hard time. She's not wrong here. Correct me if I'm wrong here, because the thing is with Eddie, yes, Eddie was, if I correct me, after Venom War, he was dying, right? And he figured, well, I have to bond to Carnage because because his rationalization was Carnage might bond to somebody else. But in actuality, it's more, and this is going to come up later, Eddie kind of had this hubris that he thought he could maintain control of the Carnage symbiote. And it's because of that, it's why they're in the position that they're in. It's because since he thought he could try to and again, let's not forget, Mary Jane does not like Eddie at all. Even though she's kind of
got a history.
Yeah, even though she's kind of come to terms with the Venom symbiote, it's still Eddie was still the way, Eddie was still Eddie is this person she cannot stand either for anything. So I do like that fact that you can see the different character dynamics at play here with Eddie's trying to basically rationalize the rationale, like, oh, I could have controlled Carnage and everything, and then Mary Jane giving him saying, no, this is all your fault, and whereas Spider-Man is trying to act as the middle, trying to be like, hey, the man in the middle, trying to kick, hey, let's just everybody get along. So I think it's true there to all of them, I think, character wise at this point.
Yeah.
So
Josh, pros out of you? You give it a C, I think.
A D. I like the art.
Okay.
I liked Flash showing up. I do like the idea of Spiral. I just don't think it was executed the right way. But
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And who didn't I hit up? Tyler, your thoughts on this whole symbiote?
I mean, yeah, I gave you my thoughts, but I am very much agreeing.
Oh, sorry.
I am agreeing with Mike, where it's just that I think both Eddie and MJ both have very valid points from their own points of view. I think it's a good conversation that needs to be had, and I think they both have reasons to feel the way they do, and I think it makes sense for the characters. So I was kind of happy to see that.
All right, let's go on to cons with JR. What didn't you like about this issue? I know you don't like symbiotes in general, so you have that bias going in, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, somebody's got to, with George no longer participating in these.
He's not reading anymore. Yeah.
No. Well, is that because he's not reading Spider-Man, or is he just is he not literate anymore?
Jeez. Put that out there. He might come on the chat.
Well, he left Texas, didn't he? I mean, why did he leave?
Yeah, he's in Oklahoma now. Yeah.
What? Well, he'll probably have an NBA champion there, I guess. Well, God, what? Well, first of all, I don't like this idea that Mary Jane and Flash might get together, and Peter is just absolutely okay with that. I just,
Mm-hmm.
But then again, this whole, I mean, we all know Marvel is I mean, Marvel just fired Dan Buckley and brought in the TV guys or whatever. So we know that the comic books are just not even a remote. Nobody cares about the comic books anymore. So I guess, we'll just, this will just be another notch on the grave or whatever.
Tevye is saying Torment is boring as a villain. Do you like Torment? I do. I think he's cool. I like his.
No, he's just another one of these boring ass serial killers. I mean, back when his name was Carnage, and oh, by the way, that's more than a coincidence, isn't it? That he acts just like Carnage and wants to kill just like Carnage, So, in fact. Whatever. In fact, I'm just thinking now that maybe the villain in issue 1000 shouldn't be Ravage; it should be Recycle. Maybe that should be. So no, Torment's a boring villain because Carnage is a boring villain. I mean, they just are. They kill people, and then Spider-Man does nothing about it. He just, I mean, because honestly, if Spider-Man were much of a hero, he would have deep sixed Carnage and Cassidy a long time ago. But anyway, that's another.
I don't see Marvel approving that Spider-Man suddenly starts killing his villains.
Well,
Come on now.
Just a few of them.
Just a few. He's Spider Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
We got Trayvon gives the issue a B+. Jeff gives it a B-. Tevye, lowest grade. He gives the whole damn thing an F because it's a waste of time. Also, Gary says, is Uncle Ben having a kid an offense for JR, or does the idea interest him? Oh, that's back to the 1000 question. Yeah,
I was about to say, yeah, I'm really interested in Ben's extramarital affairs. Can't wait to read about those.
The untold tales of Uncle Ben's sex life.
Yeah. Trouble. I'll go reread Trouble again to get myself in the mood.
Good Lord. Okay. Do we have any other cons?
I'm gonna bring up the fact that remember in the Despero Alpha how Mary Jane and Flash were like, hey, you know what is this thing we have between us, what's going on? And Ewing decided to sort of wrap it up and say, like, let's just stay friends. I think we're more comfortable as that. Joe Kelly sure didn't seem to read that, because he just immediately goes like, MJ's got a thing for Flash, right? And this continues on.
Oh yeah.
The crossover. And it's just like, so,
Yeah,
and
Kelly-
everyone just forgets about Ewing, what he wrote, I guess.
Yeah. No, yeah. If you notice
know,
in all these parts, yeah, go ahead, Brad.
I was going to say, do we have? Is it 2 different editors for this, or is it still?
I think
Nick
so.
Lowe?
I think it's Nick Lowe, but you also got who's the guy that usually does the who's the who not the is it does is it the guy I'm thinking for the Venom comics? Does it?
Yeah,
Tyler,
I think the Venom
Jordan
book
D.
has a
White.
different editor.
Jordan D. White.
Jordan White. Thank you. Yeah, because they're
Okay,
both.
so Nick Lowe and Jordan D.
together on
White
this
aren't
stuff.
talking a little bit. It sounds like.
Yeah, there's complete.
Well, it's more
miscommunication.
like Joe. It's more like Joe Kelly is because it's Joe Kelly who's event who's trying.
You're breaking up, Mike. Try it one more time.
Mary Jane and Flash. I'm going to say that Joe Kelly is the person in this entire crossover who is trying to ship tease MJ and Flash. If you notice that,
Ship
and
tease.
I
I
think
like that line.
ship tease. Yeah.
Ship tease.
Because I think it's because Joe Kelly has his own ideas of where he wants, because he clearly does not want to involve Mary Jane in future stories. So he's trying to come up with so I think he's using this as a means of, I'm just going to use this as a means of trying to, make sure that she's not really part of whatever future plans I've got, to not realizing, of course, well, maybe not realizing or not really caring that, as Tyler said, Ewing put the bed on, or he closed this. And he'll reiterate it again in with Venom 258, which you'll find out if you turn into our satellite podcast, for that. But yeah, so I think and it's kind of something he did something similar back during Zeb Wells' run. Remember, because he was the one who wrote that 2-parter with where Peter and Felicia go up to the Hamptons and they meet Mary Jane there and stuff like that. And then they have that infamous scene where Peter's like trying to, downplay his relationship with that, saying, "Oh yeah, I've moved on from Mary Jane and moving on to you, Felicia," and everything like this. That was Joe Kelly's thing
I remember that.
too. So he's kind of has this idea, like whatever seems to be going on, outside of his purview, he just kind of seems to make his own conclusions for it. So, so yeah, I think it's just more like it's just his idea to try to emphasize something that he kind of feels like he wants to happen rather than what is actually happening in the other books. So, I mean,
Chris says that Torment looks good, but I feel like he's more like Jack the Ripper. I don't know. He's I like him as a villain. But,
I only realized he was called Torment. I thought his name was Spiral.
right.
But
right.
I wish I actually do really like the idea of he's killing the family tree and slowly
I did too.
closer and closer.
I think it's
Mhm.
cool. I've not seen that.
I wish it was done more like how the Kindred storyline was, where it was slightly teased for the last 20-30 issue. Which issue was it where they had so-and-so Watson was killed here, and then so-and-so
That was the alpha.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was
The Alpha.
issue.
They,
I wish that Alpha was more like spread across the last 30 issues of Spider-Man, where it was just slowly kind of like that was the only thing that you got.
I could
for this
see that.
story so far.
Yeah.
And Josh, it'd be really interesting if there was a one-shot explaining his origins that was in the middle of this event instead of the very end. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
so we understand the motivations. Yeah. I got you on that. Okay, let's go, Tyler. Let's talk about Dylan Brock opens the door. Knock knock. Who's there?
Let the
It's
devil in.
knock knock. Let the devil in. So there we go. Take me through this, Tyler.
All right, this is the issue. This is what Death Spiral
This
is
is
going
the
to be
issue.
known for. So yeah, Dylan just immediately slams the door on his hand, and Paul grabs a knife pointed towards Owen's face for some reason, and helps him out with
Foreshadowing.
That's what we call foreshadowing a little bit. So,
Don't run with scissors or knives aimed at your face, bro.
Yeah.
To be fair, Paul did put when we have seen scenes of him pointing the knives upward in the dishwasher too. So maybe on his world, that's how things were done.
That's just normal. Okay. Yeah. So
use that knife to cut that man bun.
yeah, Paul does manage to shove the knife into one of the chakra gauntlets, and he does manage to break it essentially. But Torment does get through, and Paul tries to hold him off, and by hold him off, I mean turn his back to him and tell Dylan to run, and then he gets shanked.
Hold on. He gets shanked.
Yeah. Herc.
Oh,
We did it, boys. Paul's dead.
The internet
Yay.
did something. We killed this character.
I think after this issue came out, I'm pretty sure Marvel's like social media even did like
I don't know if you can see
rest
this,
in
but
peace
I
in
got
memoriam.
my
Paul.
celebratory dance going on for Paul's death.
Tilt it down. Tilt it down. Tilt it down.
There
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Here, let's check in with JR. JR, are you emotionally okay after this?
Well, he was
Let's
my
full screen him.
he was my new hero. I mean, what am I going to do now? I mean,
You're the best of us.
I mean, and he only got like, why didn't they make it like a double page? Why didn't they make it a spread? I mean, they just gave him one page. This is he's going to come back though, because see, another symbiote will find him and bring him back. Yeah,
Don't put
Oh,
evil
yeah.
on me,
he'll
JR.
be Agent Venom. Yeah. Mhm.
Joy,
He'll
I'm
be
gonna stab
Agent
you.
Venom. Oh, that'll
I'm gonna
piss
stab
Tyler
you,
off.
JR. Okay, but yeah. Anyway, Dylan comes in. He's like, "Don't worry, Paul. I got the Ben 10 watch." And then he turns into a cactus.
I got the
And,
Ben 10. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, the jackpot bullshit.
Yeah, he manages to get a slightly better power of glass, just the power of glass, and
The power of glass is ass.
apparently so. And so, but yeah, so Dylan starts running, and Paul, in his dying breath, stops him. He's like, "No,
Run
yeah,
before he.
you have to finish me off. As I'm not in your spiral, but you can finish me off." Anyway, and then suddenly the three heroes of our event burst in: Venom, Spider-Man, and Carnage. But Torment manages to single-handedly solo them all with one shocker gauntlet. These three's biggest weakness, apparently, and then he runs away. Spider-Man.
Oh no, Paul!
I'd like to. Yeah. Oh no, Paul. Anyway,
Let's check on the
Too
civilians.
bad, bro.
yeah.
Next.
I'd like to remind
yeah.
everybody that Peter trained in space to get better to fight Hellgate, and then he can't fight a guy with one shocker gauntlet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So great job there, Pete.
I mean, this is literally. I mean, he literally says, "Oh no, Paul." Well, anyway, let's look for other civilians.
Oh no,
What
Paul.
other people
Anyway,
are
next.
here?
Next.
Yeah, it's like.
Man. Oh wow.
So yeah,
We got a man down here. Let us
yeah.
through, Paul.
So obviously,
Oh, Paul.
the Venom symbiote has some feelings because it's MJ and Venom in there, and I guess Venom knew Paul at this point. But Paul dies saying, "I don't matter. I never."
Did.
So yeah,
No
and then
words,
Venom
never
freaks out
spoken.
and bursts out of the room. And
And Peter's like, I said, hold on, you side character. Hold on.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Paul, hold
Yeah.
on. Please
Yeah,
don't go.
and he's like, "I'm sorry, your buddy's dead." Spider-Man is very defensively. He's not my friend, just so you
Look
know.
at this. He got a shard of glass right there in the head. My goodness.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Mhm.
Okay. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah. So,
MJ Venom's ticked.
yeah. So then, so Peter clarifies he wasn't my buddy, but he was a human being who did his best. Sure, I guess.
He had a pulse.
I guess that
I
is
leave
true.
no one behind with a pulse. Yeah.
I knew
helped
who I am gonna miss his chicken korma. So there you go.
Jeez.
Anyway,
Torment is like, I can't believe I lowered myself to killing Z-list characters.
yeah, Torment's chasing Dylan, and he can sense him in the ground because of family ties. He's in the sewers, and
Jay Fox?
but yeah, and apparently No, he's in the sewers because Eddie taught him to go to the sewers because Eddie likes the sewers because 90s Venom. And so, but yeah, now Carnage is very pissed and he's threatening Dylan. He wants to kill Torment. Of course, Spider-Man says, no, I won't let that happen. I have to help Torment now. And then I'll just web him up and surely nothing bad will happen. And then something bad happens and Torment escapes.
Vawoom!
And then, so Venom bursts into the sewers to go find Dylan. And Dylan has a little bit of an emotional moment because he loved Paul so much. Just like all of us. So,
As we all did.
God dang.
as we all did, indeed.
So
So,
this maniac came to the door and attacked and stabbed Paul! Like he was worthless, like he was nothing. Because you weren't there because of you, he might be dying right now. Why aren't you there? If he's alive, why aren't you? I messed up. No, you didn't. You killed the bastard. It's great.
you Dylan. Anyway, so Spider-Man does the math. He's like, it's two of us and one guy versus with a shocker gauntlet. Come on, we can do this. But then Carnage decides to even the playing field and just bursts out of Eddie. And I guess the whole time, Carnage just never healed Eddie at all. And he would just hold him together with glue and paper clips. And so Carnage decides, like, this time for a great new friendship with Tormentage, I guess you're going to call him.
Tormentage. All right.
Tormage.
Tormage. Okay.
Or Carnage.
What do you give that one, Tyler?
I'm sticking with another C+.
C+.
No, the death of Paul is not enough to make me raise it.
Josh.
I didn't read this. This wasn't the ASM one.
What the hell are you doing on a review show?
I read just the ASM.
Oh my gosh. Okay, JR?
Well, I have to give it a notch because they killed Paul. So it's kind of a D story and an A event. So I'll give it a C+.
Plus, Mike.
Well, like JR, I'm also going to give it up a letter grade because of Paul's death. So this is actually getting a B-. So
Okay. Christina, B-. So we have Mike, highest grade yet. Christina?
Mine went up a smidge from last issue because of the death of Paul. I gave it an A-.
A-. I'll still give it a B. I'm enjoying it. I'm glad he's dead. Ding dong, the old witch. No more Paul. Let's go, Sister Netadon. Let's see.
Oh, looking for more. Let's see.
Brad, if you're captured, you blink your eyes twice. Give me a sign. No, I'm liking this story. Come on, man. Torment should be in the Spider-Man Noir show with Nick Cage. He has the noir vibe to him, says Chris.
Okay.
Evia finally is happy. Yay, problem solved. Paul is gone. That's instant.
Yay.
Game over. Game over, man. Game over. Oh, no, says Citros. Oh, no, please, no. Hold on. Oh, well, he's dead. Okay, moving on. So, hey, you guys want to get a pizza?
Right. Who's up for, yeah, right. Yeah.
Did he? I don't think so. So it's just writing people they don't care. Wait, let's see. I give it a C.
Yeah.
Oh, Tevye gone up 2 letters. Only
Yeah.
for getting rid of Paul, which was a highlight, but everything else was just stupid and a waste of time. But I'm happy. Paul is bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
What are we? Somewhere out there, Chi-Town's cracked a smile.
Cracked a smile.
You're going to hear Chi-Town talking on the Patreon show, Mary. So be sure. Check that out. Chi-Town's going to join us. Citros B, we got rid of Paul. It's worth a B to me. A for plus for the death of Top Knot. A just for the death of that waste of space, says Jeff. All right. So Tyler reviewed that. We heard your pros, Tyler. Let's hear your cons. What do we got?
So, obviously killing Paul is a pro, but at the same time, I have been on the record saying I kind of didn't want him to just be killed off like this. I wanted him to just be written out of the book and just be put in comic book limbo. I don't want to make his death a thing because like I've said, Death Spiral is now the kill Paul event. Can anyone tell me like a single other noteworthy thing that happens in this event other than Paul dying? No, because that's literally the only. This exists. This event
the cousin's different. That's new.
Barely introduced that, and now we're gonna waste 1,000 on that. So
Yeah.
anyway, so it's just like I don't know. It just feels like this was. Why is an ASM thing being cleaned up in a Venom book? I don't know.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
that's my big. I know I didn't read the book, but that was my biggest thing when I heard about this. Was like Paul has been around for 4 years. He's been around for over 100 ASM issues, and this is his death in not even the ASM book.
Yeah. MJ broke up with Paul in Venom. Paul died in Venom. They had Peter and MJ have a conversation about everything that happened in Venom.
Yeah.
Why is
And ASM's published twice a month.
Yeah.
So we're too busy with Spore. Oh, goody.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Mhm.
So
I'll give you that. That's what.
Yeah.
Amen. Preach.
I mean, the thing with this Paul's death here is like, I mean, yeah, we're all being celebratory.
Oh,
and
did you
everything like
mention
this.
that? Let me show it one more time.
Yeah,
Okay,
one
go
more
ahead.
death. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But this is clearly, I mean, I think that one of the things that I think part of the thing is why they figured, I mean, they killed Paul off is because I think when they were planning this thing, they said, oh, let's just kill him off. But I think there's more to it than that. I think it's more on the lines of they're trying to win back the crowd with his death, because quite frankly, let's just be clear. I mean, Paul was a waste of space. I mean, this is something that was held over from the Zeb Wells run. He's one of the reasons who is one of the reasons why that run was so disregarded. And I think the other thing too is that Paul, I mean, they describe him as Paul. I mean, they say that he is heat. You know, like in a wrestling term, that he's like, that this is like he's. He's designed to to draw the ire of the crowd, and basically, because again, so the thing about with Paul though is that he was runaway heat. In other words, that because the idea with Paul is that he was supposed to be, he was. Now after the fact, you hear in your interviews saying that we knew people were going to hate Paul, but because he was going to come between Peter and Mary Jane. But I guess the twist was he was supposed to be come across as a really, likable, nice, decent guy. Except the problem was that when he was portrayed, Zeb Wells lost the ability to write, and so Paul just came across as just like, wow, he's boring, or at worst, just kind of like, this, this guy.
He wasn't a character. He was an obstacle.
No, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And at this point, it's just, and I think even Al Ewing has gone on record saying that he found Paul boring. He just figured Paul and MJ shouldn't have even got together, but he had to work with what he had, and so I think at this point they were just like thinking, you know what, let's just kill this guy because he dragged Amazing Spider-Man down. He's dragging Venom down, or at least, so we got to get, let's get him off the table at this point. I totally get what you're saying, Tyler, is because, if they just kind of let him just walk off into obscurity, it would have been fine. But I think they wanted to definitively let people know, no, here he is. He's dead. Please come back. Please. We need the readership. So,
and I guess my other big con would be the fact that, look, I'm not someone who really gets like up in a bunch about power levels and whatnot, but it's one shocker gauntlet. Come on, like it's just like there's been multiple times he just shoots them and manages to run away, no problem. Like this is like I'm tired of it. It's the same thing that happens over and over through this whole event, and at least he's got like a Carnage power up at the end here, but it's like without that, ugh.
Yeah.
Citros has a good line. Paul reminded me of a guy at my office who everyone walks by and pretends to be on their phone, so they don't have to talk to him because he's so damn annoying. Lols. Man, poor guy. Joey Z says, I know that for the last 20 years, people have said that the books are rage bait, but with Paul, it was the first time I truly believed that they were actively trying to piss us off or piss off the reader.
Like, ironically, not a Spider-Man villain per se, but like one of the most memorable Peter Parker villains of the last however long is Paul.
Paul?
They didn't even kill him in the main book.
No.
No, they didn't.
No.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good one. Paul became Uncle Ben to Dylan because of the death.
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh man.
Unfortunately,
With great
yes.
man bun comes great hair. Oh my gosh, that's funny. All right. Any other thoughts on this issue before we move on that we've not discussed? You guys ready to go back to ASM?
Mm-hmm.
All right. ASM, who's got this one? This is
I think that's me.
Josh. Josh has this one. All right. Josh, I will pop this up. Share screen. All right. There you go, sir.
Is there a 2-page commercial for Spider-Versity in this one?
No. I don't.
Stick around for Patreon if you want to hear Spider-Versity's thoughts on the Norman Osborn expert over there.
Oh boy.
Be good. All right. Take me through it, Josh.
We start with some weird, hey, we should like maybe mentally date Carnage and Torment together thing. Oh, I feel strange, but oh, I want to kill, but I need to kill in a certain pattern. Oh, you're not kidding. And it's weird. Regardless, we now have Torment or Tormentage or whatever you want to call him. And he and Spider-Man are fighting now because, like Tyler said, he got basically a power upgrade with Carnage bonding with him. So as Tormentage and Spider-Man are fighting, Eddie is like actively dying. Essentially, he's not being held together. He's bleeding out, and he's like, "Where's Dylan? Where's Dylan?" Dylan's in the sewers with Venom, and they're trying to get back. And Dylan's like, "Oh, I gotta kill Torment for what he did to Paul." And Venom's, "We don't do that. Well, you used to. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. This isn't the 90s." So we go back to Tormentage and Spider-Man. They're all fighting, and Spider-Man's kind of just trying to just keep talking. Like, he's just stalling essentially there, and he's trying to like figure out like, okay, how can we get them to split apart so it's a little bit easier? What am I supposed to do? And then with a big boom, Torment, Venom and Dylan show up there. And Venom goes, "We need to end this." And because of the giant boom, Spider-Man was like basically in a concussion, but that like snapped him back into it. And Venom goes, Spidey's like, "You good?" "No, sorry. We're having a lot of feelings." "Me too." So they're all talking in the corner there. And Venom goes, "This is his fault. He bonded with Carnage. It's all Eddie's fault and that." And Spider-Man's like, I get it. Like, Spider-Man's just trying to keep the peace between everyone so that we can actually put this event to rest. He's like, okay, but he's following this spirals. Carnage is all madness. Like, he's trying to kill everyone, but that's not Torment. Torment's going through a spiral. He's trying to find Aunt May and Aunt Anna. Flash isn't going to be enough. So then we cut to Flash. And Aunt Anna's like, "Oh, did you see Marjorie's face when he got in the car? She's going to be talking about that boy toy of mine for months, that gossip. Mary Jane will die when I talk about it." And Flash goes, "Yeah, okay, 1 sec." And he calls them. He's like, "Hey, so just so you know, I mean, sorry I have to leave a message, but I have Aunt Anna, and we're not headed to May's house because it's Feast Family Fun Night with a bunch of innocent attendees. Hope to see you there soon." Like, get there. That's where they're heading, and it's going to be a bloodbath. So we cut to the hospital where MJ as Venom is trying to be a little more civil and just, "Bill us later. We're superhero business. We need to get business." And Dylan's like, "We need a freaking doctor now." He's like, "Yeah, okay, smooth."
Why don't they try to rush Paul to the ER? They just leave him bleeding out.
Paul's dead. We moved on.
Oh, yeah.
He's
So-
dead.
He's
Come
dead.
on.
Yeah, it's too
Eddie's
late.
in better shape than anyway.
No,
Yeah.
Paul had one piece of glass in him, so he's done. So Eddie starts going on this big, long sob story of just, "I tried to do the right thing. I didn't want anyone else to have to deal with Carnage, so I took it on. I thought I was strong enough, but I'm not. But I tried, and that must count for something, right?" And MJ comes out of Venom and just says, I'm sorry, I tried my best. I can do better. Yeah, my father ran those lines every time he finished tearing into my mother or my sister or me. Addicts don't get better by lying to themselves, and just don't die so I don't have to hear Spider-Man mope about it. We never want to see you again, which is like just gotta hurt coming to Eddie
Ouch.
Venom. So we cut back to Torment and Carnage here, and like this entire book, they're basically just fighting like an old married couple. But I want to kill randomly. No, you can't kill randomly because then I have another. But I really want to. No, I can't. There's an order to this thing. But no, you never listen to what I say. That's the whole book. So, anyways, we cut
Like
I
the
like-
Odd Couple. Da, da, da,
I
da.
I also like how they're like, there's an order to this, except they just skip Dylan anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we get this nice panel of Spidey swinging down the street there, and he's monologuing his head like, oh, it's a bloodbath, and they're all killing in my name, which isn't really what like he's killing because he's trying to get to Peter Parker there. But he swings into the feast there and saves this random guy from dying at the moment. It's this random guy. And we're doing another villain monologue. Enjoy the quiet. It's so very fragile. Carnage is like, I just want to kill. No, no more. And Spidey swings in, shoots his webs, and fire gets on Tormentage. He's like, oh, you don't like fire? Good to know. Like they're having like their first date in this fight. I'm just like learning new things about each other. And so Tormentage starts going off of the spiral, closing tighter. Your first cousin. He's like, cousin? What do you mean cousin? Did you grow up together? Were you friends? Oh, shut up. What, are you trying to kill me now? He's like, I want to, but no, you're good. And then again with Shocker's one gauntlet, giant boom explosion that pretty much decimates Feast. But Tormentage runs off, and Spidey's like, oh, I'm
His
so
signature
tired.
move, running off.
Yeah, exactly.
Running away. Yeah.
Spidey's like, oh, I'm so tired. I can't believe that this event isn't over. But no, I keep pushing through like 3 more issues of this nonsense. And he goes and finds this guy, and he's like, easy, pal, one step at a time. And the guy goes, did that monster say that we're cousins? Yeah, but don't believe everything a psychopath tells you. You're going to be okay. I'm finishing this, and swings off. Which I'll go back to that in a minute. But anyways, Aunt May says, all right, everyone, welcome. If you don't know me, my name's May Parker. I'm the director of Feast. Welcome to one of my favorite events, Family Fun Night, because you can't spell fun without family, right? And Tormentage is just outside with the creep.
Or FU. Yeah.
To be continued.
Okay. So, do we have any crawl spacers in the letters pages? Let's see.
I forgot to check that last time.
I've been looking. I haven't seen any yet. But all right. So what's your grade, sir, on that issue?
I'll give it a C minus.
C minus. Okay. Mike.
D plus.
Woo! Good gosh.
Okay.
By the way, chat, sound up on your grades. I'll
D
list
plus.
them and once we get through the panel.
D,
Christina,
not
we
a
got
C for those who didn't want to figure it out.
yeah, D like dog. There you go. We have a
Yep.
what'd you say?
Mhm.
A C, Josh?
You see, yeah, C minus.
We have a C on the table. We have a D on the table. Christina,
I
my
am,
only hope.
I am absolutely insane. I'm giving it a B.
Okay. Tyler.
This is a D.
Okay.
Gosh. Okay. I think I know what's coming. The first letter of my last name. JR, go ahead.
Well, that was an open invitation to say a lot of things, but
D for dog, maybe.
yeah, you're like, that's going to be a D. It's just
Okay. I'm with Christina, a B. I like it. I like it a lot. Go ahead. Josh, tell me what you liked, if there is anything.
I like the art.
We had a couple, wasn't it multiple artists on this one? Let me look.
There was 2.
There was 2. Yeah.
I did see, yeah, Francesco Manna and Ed McGuinness. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The art, that's it?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I like the art. I don't know. The last ASM issue, it just maybe it's just because I'm getting used to this story again. I liked it a little better than this one, so C-, but yeah.
I thought when we talk about art, I think they both complemented each other. I didn't see a dramatic change
of when it switched from one person to the other, which in my opinion means it's flowed really nicely. So that's a good plus in there.
Absolutely. Okay. Christina, let's hear your pros.
Josh talked about it with Carnage and Torment arguing like an old married couple. I thought that was hilarious between them and stuff. And then I really did like the scene in the hospital room with Eddie, Mary Jane Venom, and Dylan, and her going off on Eddie about what her dad did and stuff.
I agree. Venom, I feel, is bringing a little bit of evil or some more prime emotions out of her. Hence, you'll see the dropping in a couple issues of who dropped who.
Yeah.
Tyler, what's your thoughts on the symbiote bringing out evilness?
Okay, so
I don't know what you think of that.
Well,
or
first
if you believe in that concept.
I was just going to say, first off, for the pro, I actually like Tormentage's design. I think it's a fun twist of both characters with the spikes and all that and the spirals. So that's one of my pros. My other pro is that I was going to be this MJ, Eddie scene, because I think MJ is very justified in this, and Eddie Soul has written Eddie with a bit of an addictive personality when it comes to symbiotes. He likes the power, and so I think MJ is completely right in calling him out. And but at the same time, this is also one of my biggest cons in the whole book, is basically everything the Venom symbiote says. Because the way Ewing has basically written the Venom symbiote through his whole run, essentially, when for MJ specifically, when it's the symbiote dialogue bubble talking, it's the symbiote talking. And this is the first issue that seems to break that rule, because I cannot see the symbiote saying anything about Eddie, any of this for Eddie. Like, it's saying like, oh, whatever, he'll take an Uber to go to the hospital while you're bleeding out. Like, it just, throughout this whole event, the symbiote has been very sympathetic towards Eddie. Even like MJ was the one who was being antagonistic, and the symbiote's like, oh, hold on, there's probably a good explanation for this. It's Eddie. We like Eddie. And so now, all of a sudden, on a dime, the symbiote just hates him. And it's just like, it was so confusing. I thought this was just someone making a mistake, and this is all just MJ, but it seems to be both of them. It says, we never want to see you again. So the symbiote is suddenly completely against Eddie out of nowhere. It doesn't make sense for how it's been written in this event even. And so
if the symbiote is influencing Mary Jane, couldn't Mary Jane be influencing the symbiote for her hatred of Eddie?
Absolutely. It's just the fact that she was already antagonistic towards Eddie, and we didn't see any of that from the symbiote. It was very much two different personalities. Can
I play a little bit of a devil's advocate in terms of Venom's
Mephisto advocate, if you will?
Yes, right. The difference is that Torment almost killed Dylan, and so Venom, and again, keep in mind that, yes, Eddie Brock is Dylan's father, but in a weird way, Venom is also Dylan's dad. And so the fact that Dylan almost died as a result of being killed by Torment, and now the idea of, so the one, you had his son's life was almost killed. And second, I think the thing is what was interesting about that hospital scene where Eddie is talking about, oh, yes, I know I made mistakes and I apologize and everything, but I'm going to do better next time. And notice that the reaction was like, next time, are you crazy? What you want to bond? You after all this, you still want to bond to a symbiote? And I think that's the point. I think that's the real turning point for all of these guys. It's like Eddie, for all of Eddie's talk, he still doesn't get the lesson to get it. It's because he thought he could, master control of a symbiote is why they got into this situation in the first place. And yet here he is thinking about going down that same path once again, because Mary Jane's right. He is an addict when it comes to this. And so I think the thing with the Venom symbiote, the fact that you combine that with his son being almost being killed, plus that Eddie clearly has not learned anything, even though, that's going to set him off. It's like, you know what? Maybe we're, fine. We're just done we're just done at this point. So I'm not saying it's perfect, but I can kind of see where maybe you can get some justification for that, for why the Venom symbiote turns on Eddie so fast on this thing. So
that is fair. I think it just really rubbed me the wrong way, especially as it was in contrary to the rest of the event, and the fact that Eddie doesn't really have anyone in his corner of this event. Like Spider-Man was sort of a mediator, but then other than that, like he's barely said anything about Eddie. And then it's just like Flash could be that, because Flash is on very good terms with Eddie, but Flash has such a tiny part in this event, and we barely get to see any of that. So
sure, yep.
All right, Josh, let's hear some cons. Does it involve a certain cousin?
Yes. Okay. So as I'm reading this, and he says your first cousin. So immediately I'm picturing, okay, the family tree. So Peter Parker has his two parents, but the last name is Parker, which means that Richard Parker and Uncle Ben are brothers, right?
Yep.
Okay, which means that there is either two things happening here. Either one, Uncle Ben and Aunt May, or a few things. Either one, Uncle Ben and Aunt May had a kid and just never told Peter about it, and also has not been written in Spider-Man comics for the last 64 years. Two, Uncle Ben has a kid not with Aunt May. Or three, there's a third Parker brother on the Uncle Ben and Richard level there. That is just someone else that doesn't get written about.
Or he's a sperm donor.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You know, the bills, we got to pay the mortgage, Aunt May. You know,
I really hope it's not that.
Can you imagine if that's the issue 1000? We have a flashback of him going to the clinic.
Yeah, he really needed cash to buy the ring for Aunt May, so he was strung
for inspiration, he pulls out an issue of Trump. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Here's your little cup in a magazine, Mr. Parker.
Oh my God! So wait a minute. I'm trying to follow your family tree. So this could be Uncle Ben's brother. Would that make him a cousin?
No, because that would be his Uncle Ben's brother. Would be his.
That would be an uncle.
Yeah,
that was his uncle. They
so
specifically say first cousin,
a third brother to Uncle Ben, and
so in order to be a cousin, who has to be? Because I can't keep track of family trees. So
it has
cousin.
So it has. So if it's his first cousin, that means it has to be his uncle's son. And since there's only been two, that means it's either got to be it. You know, because Richard and Ben were brothers, it has to be Uncle Ben's kid. Even the art shows him looking like a younger version of Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
And cousin
given the fact that we have
of one of your parents' siblings.
Yes. Yeah. And given the fact that in past stories we've had it, I think it's been established that since Ben and May never had kids, because I think there's a story where Aunt May had a miscarriage, and as a result of that miscarriage, she couldn't have any more kids. That means that this guy, who we find out later is Cormac Crane, that means that this guy has either has been, you know, he's somebody who Uncle Ben sired with from a previous relationship, or it's somebody who maybe, you know, it's, and I guess the implication here is that, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
I just had a thought. What if Uncle Ben learned about responsibility once he lost track of this kid?
That's exactly what I think where they're trying to go with this.
Wow.
Because they're trying because I think what they're trying to set, which I think Joe Kelly is setting up here, is that Uncle Ben and Aunt May maybe before they got married, they had a fight, they separated. Uncle Ben was probably having seen somebody else at the time. That other woman got pregnant and she had this kid, but he married Aunt May instead. And it's because the fact, and also if you go back early in Kelly's run, they show the flashback of how Uncle Ben, I'm not ready to be a father and all this other stuff. So they're kind of, he's setting the stage here that Uncle Ben, when he was younger, didn't take responsibility for his kid. And as a result of that, but then as he got older and started raising Peter, that's where, you know, so it's one of those things like that's what he's setting the groundwork for that.
So it's 1000 is the origin of where responsibility came for Uncle Ben. Do we like that idea, JR?
No.
No.
More convoluted nonsense. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Stop it.
Well,
Stop it.
They got to keep turning this thing out for 65 years. Like you can't keep telling the same story over and over.
Oh, you can't, Brad? Brett, are you telling me you can't do a story about a secret relative of some sort that Peter might have had? Are you?
I'm just saying they got to continuously come up with some story.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, didn't we do this already with Teresa? Like,
yeah, but remember they decided to abandon that. But I guess it's okay if Uncle Ben has a kid has a kid. And then that's like, oh, the secret cousin that Peter never knew about. So
I do like that theme of the origin of where Uncle Ben got his responsibility for.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
I just don't like the execution. It's looking like he's taking.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. Coming up in whatever issue it is, it's called The Talk. So, Aunt May, do you think that's what Aunt May is going to say? It was like, you know what? Uncle Ben and I broke up. He got a little got a little side piece.
I think Aunt May's going to tell him about that. Like he's just going to say, yeah, Uncle Ben and I, before we got married, we had a fight. We split up. And then after we got married, I then found out that he had a kid with this other woman, but and all this other stuff.
So it could be like Friends. Uncle Ben could be like Ross. We were on a break. We were on a break.
Yeah.
Pivot.
This is soap opera writing of the worst kind, though.
What?
Most shade of the worst kind. Jeez.
Why?
Soap opera writing.
Well, Spider-Man is soap opera. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, this is really cliched soap opera writing. I mean, yeah.
Well, how would you celebrate issue 1000 without the origin of responsibility? What would you do, JR?
Just about anything else.
You'd rather have symbiotes in here on issue 1000?
What about just a celebration of Spider-Man's history and cast of characters? What about that?
We've done that on issue 800, 900.
I'm always a big Nick Spencer fan. I've probably beaten it to death, but honestly, I would have thought issue 1000 would have been how Nick Spencer's run ended, where he fights 70 of his classic villains in this massive fight or whatever. I thought that's how it would go. Not that Uncle Ben actually had a kid with another woman. Then, now,
as we've seen with this Brian, whatever his name is, he becomes a bad guy. What if they keep this guy around? Is he going to be a villain?
I think so. I think there's a point where I think it's setting up that way, especially if you look at once we get to part 9, where we get to the epilogue, I think there's definitely something there. But yeah, I think it's just the way that they said this setting up thing. It kind of reminds me a little bit of what happened in, spoilers for Batman, the Matt Reeves film, where they kind of imply that, maybe Bruce Wayne's father, Thomas Wayne, wasn't exactly the paragon of virtue that he came across. It almost feels like they're trying to do the same, that Joe Kelly's going to do the same thing here with Uncle Ben a little bit, where it's like, I really hope they don't do this whole thing where Peter Parker goes, oh no, everything I learned from Uncle Ben was a lie because he didn't practice what he preached and all this other stuff,
He didn't practice safe sex.
Yeah, but it's just,
Joey Z has an interesting comment. He says, this guy will either be a villain or he'll die to give Peter more angst, or both. I could see that.
I gotta ask, I guess, Michael Bailey about this, but when in the Superman movie last year, where they switched how his parents were perceived in that, this seems like a similar thing now happening in comics here.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if it that's on pot. I gotta ask if that was so detrimental that oh my gosh, you're changing Superman's biological father, how it he was perceived. If that was as it just seemed like Uncle Ben, that there's the saying, no one stays dead in comics except for Gwen Stacy, Uncle Ben, or whatever. We're just changing part of Uncle Ben 64 years, 1,000 ASM issues later. Yeah, I don't like it.
Is there any possibility this guy could be Ravaged or Ravage, whatever his name is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Really?
thinking that.
What's his motivation? That his father left him? I mean, there's a lot of kids like that. I mean, what's our thoughts on that?
My thoughts are total apathy. Just
I don't care.
I don't care about this character at all.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of what Kelly could do to that character. If he learned Peter is Spider-Man and his uncle is gave him that lesson. I don't know. That's a lot to put in between now and 1,000.
That probably would be the fight, though, is that he's going to say, like, oh, your uncle knows nothing about responsibility. He ditched me and my mom, and I had to grow up on my own, and I am where I am today because of me. And Peter tries to show him the true about real responsibility, how Uncle Ben learned, and over time.
Or you killed my father I never knew about by letting the burglar go by.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Yeah.
What
Even
about that?
worse. Oh my god.
Even worse. Christina, thoughts about this guy? What's your thoughts on him?
I
Are you
don't.
looking forward to this story, or you're just kind of apathetic? What's your thoughts on the
I
cousin?
think it's just to wait and see how they play it out. Whether Uncle Ben hitched with another woman or whatever, or sperm donor or whatever.
Sperm donor's the worst possible outcome.
You don't think that maybe this is the baby? They're gonna retcon it to maybe this was maybe the baby that Aunt May delivered stillborn or whatever. That maybe this is the child she had.
I mean, those Parkers have stillborn kids a lot.
So
I mean, anyway, I don't know. It's enough of a kernel of an interest I have to find out who the hell this guy is. That is, it's doing what a comic book should. It's making me want to tune into the next issue. Or check out the next issue. So, any other thoughts on this issue before we move on, y'all? Let's see who's got the next one. It would be Tyler with Venom. So let me pull this one up, Tyler. We're going back to Venom again. JR, get ready. Okay. Share screen. Venom number 257. There you go. All right. Oh, Paul's on the cover up here.
Yeah. I bought the variant that was just part of the connecting spread, and it was just Agent Anti-Venom. So, okay.
Okay.
So we open up at the Fee Center.
Oh, by the way, they did a nice tribute to Sal Buscema.
Yeah.
On the insides. That was really, really nice. I thought that was really
rest in peace.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, they wasted a page. They wasted 3 pages. Okay.
Here
we go.
we have to know that they're very proud to present this every time.
I know. What a waste that is. God.
Anyway, so we open at the Fee Center, and I guess it's just Italian wedding soup, whatever that means. And then
I like Italian wedding soup. It's good.
Yeah. But of course we see Aunt Anna and Aunt May just there, and their bodyguard, Mr. Flash Thompson's nowhere to be seen. And of course, just shape-shifting Tormentage is just ready to start killing. And they manage to Aunt May fires back with the soup. But
I know. Girl throws the hot soup at him. Love it.
Yeah, but it's not fire, so it's not going to affect the symbiote. And so he's ready to kill them both. But of course, finally, Mr. Flash Thompson steps in. Agent Anti-Venom, and Torment's a little confused. He's like, Carnage, I thought you said nothing could hurt me. Well, he's an exception. It's Anti-Venom. And so, Flash actually managed to hurt him quite a bit. But then, of course, Torment bursts out with the Shocker Gauntlet of Doom and blasts Flash back. And I'm pretty sure Flash Anti-Venom should technically be immune to sonics and fire, but editors don't care anymore. So it's just anyway, so Torment and Carnage going, okay, so what do we do here? Because you're weak to him, but also you got to kill the ants. And Carnage goes, okay, here's the thing. How about I jump off you with a feed line, and I'll be a little crab, and I'll go and kill them, and you'll feel it because I'm bonded with you. Well, I'll be your lifeline connected to you, and you'll feel it. And so Torment's like, sure, why not?
Yeah,
that's how that works. Anyway, we cut back to the hospital where Eddie is seemingly stabilized. They managed to patch up those holes real quick.
And he's
But,
got a neck guard over here.
Yeah, he does. And so, meanwhile, they're seeing that there's some symbiote carnage happening at the Fee Center. And it's like, oh, yeah, just like those aliens that always attack Earth. There's some of them there. And so Eddie Brock's like, I know my rules. You guys can't keep me here. I'm going to go clean this up. Let's go, Dylan. And so, but then we come back to the fight. And our Torment is just really putting the pain on the Flash. But then little Carnage Crab is running around through the ceilings like a face hugger.
Crap.
And, and then
It
instead,
does look like a.
yeah, and but instead of just focusing on the ants, Carnage is just like, I'm gonna start stabbing people. So Torment's getting pissed though, because that's not in his rules. He's got to kill the family members, and Carnage just creating more spirals. But so yeah, as Carnage doing this, Torment managed to single-handedly beat Agent Anti-Venom. Just nobody cares about what these characters can do anymore, and Anti-Venom just jobs like completely, gets kicked in the face, and Carnage is finally ready to kill the ants hiding in the freezer. He's smarter than a velociraptor, has managed to just go under the door.
I thought of that too. I thought of that Jurassic Park reference.
Yeah. But right before Carnage can kill them, Torment's just like, he's seeing all these people Carnage has killed. The spirals are too much. And so he pulls Carnage back. And he's like, screw you. This wasn't part of the plan. And he blasts the Carnage symbiote. It's still sort of on him, but he's just like, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you blast something that is connected to your body, you feel that pain too, right? That's always been a thing with symbiotes.
I kind of think it would be the case, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like connected to your nervous system. But yeah, anyway, Torment's just built different, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, so of course this is a Venom comic, so Venom finally bursts in and then just immediately gets beaten in one page. So Venom's done for the comic. So yeah.
There you go.
I'm sorry. 3 pages.
Three
pages of Venom before Venom just immediately one shot. So yeah, Spider-Man goes, "No, Mary Jane, you've been blasted with the symbiote again." But then I guess Torment still has enough control of Carnage that he's still got these tendrils. And he's like, I guess he's just decided to kill him out of order, or he's like, you'll survive long enough for me to kill your aunt first. So he stabs Peter a bunch and leaves him. And he also leaves the Carnage symbiote, I guess. He's like, well, I'm done with that. Bye.
He also blasted him so much he lost his spider chest symbol.
He did.
It's the blood covering up. I'll bet we can do that.
Dark
Yeah,
blood.
right.
It's all red. Speaking of red, friggin' Peter starts hearing a little whispering voice, a devil on his shoulder. It says, "You're dying. I can save you. You can save me. Life, choose life." And of course, Peter says life. And we get, for the first time, Peter Parker as Spider Carnage in 616. So,
what about ASM 429 when he fought the Silver Surfer? Didn't he?
That was his clone.
Mm-hmm.
That was Ben Reilly. That was Ben Reilly.
I don't know about that. Was that his clone?
That was Ben Reilly.
Yes.
It was Ben Reilly with Spider
Reilly.
Carnage. So this is the first time.
I'm thinking of 429 where Carnage was on Silver Surfer. Then never mind.
Never mind. That's
my bad.
Spider-Man, Silver Surfer. Who's to say? but yeah. So this is the first time, I guess, that Peter Parker has been Spider Carnage.
Okay.
So to be,
I thought he'd had it multiple times. Okay. Tyler, grade?
I give it a D+, I guess.
Oh man. Mainly because they've just overpowered Torment, haven't they? Like his powers don't make sense.
You mean his shocker gauntlet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one power he's got. Otherwise, he's just a dude who can see who has the power of Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
By the power of Ancestry.com, I kill you.
Yeah.
That's all amazing.
Yep, that is. That's what his power is. He can see it. He's got. So.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chop down your cherry tree. Call me George Washington. Your family tree.
Like here's
Anyway.
the thing with the whole Agent Anti-Venom versus Torment, like without his symbiote, like already he should be immune to sonics and fire. Except the thing is, the editors have no idea what they're doing, and I have proof of that because a while back, someone asked, like, on the Adventures in Portace, they do this questions and answers with the editors, and someone asked, like, does Flash's symbiote currently have a consciousness? Anti-Venom didn't, but if I recall correctly, this symbiote originates from a symbiote dragon from King in Black. And so Jordan D. White literally said, Hank, let me tell you, I cannot fully answer your question. And you've sent me down a huge research rabbit hole that's revealed some really interesting things that will probably affect how things go with the character in the future. Yeah. So it's like the editors don't know. They just, like, it's just...
Or don't care because they have to push these books out so damn fast.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just the fact that Agent Anti-Venom just versus one Shocker Gauntlet just gets completely beat up. And Venom gets to be in the Venom book for 3 pages. So it's just...
Chat, let's hear your grades. We got 2 in the moment. We'll take a few more. Pros. Did I go grades around?
No, you didn't ask anybody else's grades.
I was kind of jumping into cons there. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so your grade, Tyler, was a D, right?
D+.
D+. Christina, your grade, let's start high.
I am absolutely insane when it comes to this event. I gave it a B.
Yep. I'll give it a B also. Mike?
I'm going to give this a C- actually, so that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Josh, grade?
D.
JR, you're my only hope.
I stopped reading it.
I for incomplete. God. JR will not buy a Venom book, I'll tell you. Okay, Tyler, any other pros or cons?
Well, as far as pros, I mean, I like how the artist draws Flash, though I will say I typically like it's depending on the artist whether they draw him with the shoulder pad spikes as Agent Anti-Venom. Some do, some don't, but I like seeing him, even if he's a little too smooth for my liking. But it's a cool looking fight for the cool moments Flash gets, which is like 1 or 2 pages, and then of course he just gets beaten and kicked by Torment other than that. But I will also say I do like the bickering between Carnage and Torment, where it shows that they are not compatible, and the relationship was never really going to work out.
I liked a little Carnage face hugger going around. I thought that was fun. He's like, I'm going to just kill a few people on the way. Hold on. Kill. But,
yeah, and I think I kind of like the idea of what the difference between their method, between Torment and Carnage's methodology also. I mean, I know we kind of like, there's been descriptions of how describing Death Spiral as like the modern Maximum Carnage. But I think that this kind of really, but the past issues in this issue really shows like they do indeed have a different modus operandi, because Carnage has always been just kind of very indiscriminate about whom it kills, and
he's more chaos, and Torment is more controlled.
Yeah, total anarchy.
Exactly,
is Carnage's whole thing.
Yeah, there's a reason why they describe Cletus Cassidy as like Marvel's version of the Joker or something, or Carnage, because he is kind of like the embodiment of chaos there. Whereas Torment, he's like, no, there is a deliberate pattern to what he has to do. And he's like, he's not somebody who he has a target, but then he says, before I get over that target, I have to get rid of people along that person's lineage first. And if you bring in more people into the mix, then it's like, oh, so it seems like in his case, he feels like he has to kill these folks in order to try to cause less torment for himself. Like it's a weird, like, in other words, he's got to like his
more paperwork
his reason for why yeah, pretty much. But this does lead into a con I have with this, which I think is also which got brought up in the last issue, which is, wait, if you had an order to these kills, why did you completely skip over Dylan? Why did you completely skip over Peter's long lost cousin and just go right directly to Aunt May and all this other stuff? So it's like, you're not really following your methodology here, Torment, whoever you are, because, but yeah, I think it's just, but I do agree that the difference in their personality wise kind of really does come across here. And I think it really comes across very well. And you clearly understand what their methodology is with these two. So
pro for me, though, it hasn't been mentioned yet, is I legitimately thought Aunt Anna and Aunt May were in danger. I mean, you got then those two old biddies are going up against Carnage like they're toast.
Mhm.
I mean, there was a legitimate threat, I thought, against the two ladies, so I believed it. So, Christina, you agree? I mean, that's probably why your grade's similar to mine with the B. I felt the fear of those two getting killed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the stuff with with Carnage and Torment and their disagreements and stuff. Yeah, that's interesting as well. And then I did like the fight scenes in this issue and stuff too. So
let's see. JR, well, he didn't read it.
Mhm.
Josh, what was your grade again?
D. I just like I'm not even
Why is it a D?
massive Venom fan, but it's like Tyler said, Venom's barely in the book. He's got like 3
Mhm.
pages. What?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He isn't in
Yeah.
the book very much, is he?
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
MJ is one of the 3 main characters, and she's like, does she have one line in this?
Yeah.
yeah, doesn't feel like a Venom book.
No.
I think this was because I think the original plan was that this, I think I mentioned maybe before in the last podcast. I think this was planned with the idea of the Carnage series still being printed, and I kind of have to wonder whether or not that this series, but they're like, maybe we'll just stick it in. But since it got canceled, they're like, well, where are we going to put this? Oh, we'll stick it in the Venom book because, I can kind of see that, like, because again, it's Charles Soule, because again, it's the same it's Charles Soule's writing this, and I don't know if I don't think it's the same artist on that series though, but I mean it's definitely kind of like this definitely feels like it's more of could have been part of the more of the Carnage series as opposed to
it's a lot darker than Amazing. It usually is.
Yeah.
But anytime
Yep.
after 30 years of Carnage, that character is not a PG-13 character, which is what Spider-Man is.
Oh no.
Carnage is very much an R.
Mhm.
And it's gotten so Carnage is hard to mix with Spider-Man almost anymore, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's so evil.
Oh yeah.
But,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think, Tyler? Do you agree with that? I mean, he's an R-rated villain.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, there's a reason he was an R-rated movie. So it's just, I mean, he's a villain who's all about killing. That's his thing. He loves indiscriminately killing, and he thinks he's an anarchist. He thinks nothing matters, so why should a life matter? I do think there is some simplicity in that, and it's just like it's nice to have a villain who just likes being bad sometimes. This should not be the norm, but I think every now and then, I think it's good that Spider-Man has this one super evil villain, even if JR thinks Spider-Man should just kill him. But I just miss Cletus. I'm someone who really liked it was Cletus and the symbiote had like a perfect bond, and then that's just sort of been not a thing, and I guess I'm just missing that. It feels like Carnage on his own without Cletus is just like peanut butter without the chocolate.
Agreed.
What happened to Cletus again?
He's like
he died.
He died multiple times. But he eventually came back, and then during the Venom War, he just in his Venom War mini, Cletus is like, Carnage, this God stuff you want to do, I'm out. It's stupid. It's really dumb. Come find me when you're done playing God. And he literally just like ripped himself out of the symbiote and walked away naked. So just he's actually
true.
Yeah, I very much agree with that.
Wasn't that Cletus' clone though, or something? I thought it was.
It was because he died.
Well, if you want to get into that, Carnage with God powers chewed somebody up, spit out a new Cletus with all his memories, and then that Cletus eventually merged with the original Cletus's mind. It's a whole thing. I'm not going to get into it.
Let's go to chat real quick, and before we got 2 issues left. Joey says D for a damn waste of paper. I think the Netadon says I think the whole ASM comic is a filler. Let's see. Jeff goes D for dumb. Man, Christina, you and I are in the minority. Spider Carnage, seriously, this ain't the 90s anymore. Carnage looked better on Ben Reilly. Carnage is what general public think Venom is. Spider-Man 3 didn't get it, so does Insomniac Spider-Man 2 didn't get it. Okay. So, yeah, I think that, do you think, Tyler, the average public probably thinks Venom is what you see in the movies, honestly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
And kind of not he's kind of an anti-hero anymore. And Carnage was made to be evil, I guess, because
Yep.
I don't know. Okay, Mike, you got our second to last issue. We're going to Amazing on this one. ASM 991 looks like.
Yes. Where we get to finally see Spider Carnage in action for about maybe half the issue. So,
Right.
so the story. So we begin with Spider-Man being overwhelmed by Carnage's sheer madness as he's literally being dragged deeper and deeper into this thing as Carnage's influence just keeps getting a hold over him and saying, just let it happen. Just come on, just give in to the madness and the joy.
Come to the dark side.
Come to the dark side. And admittedly, we get to see more of this design. Of course, and we see, I like, of course, seeing the little Carnage making these little spiders and everything. And true to fashion, how we've noticed in the past couple of years where Spider-Man can't seem to defeat a villain on his own anymore. Well, here you go. Now we get Carnage is able to do this. And unlike we've seen in the past couple issues where Torment is able to basically defeat everybody with a single shocker gauntlet, not in this case, because Spider Carnage is just making short work of him, including the point where he just literally rips the Carnage gauntlet off, taking the skin along with it. And it's like, and as this fight continues to go on, Peter Parker is still getting submerged in the madness that is Carnage. And he's like, oh no, what I can do. And then Venom comes along, punches him and saying, look, we got, basically, and trying. And that's when Spider Carnage turns his attention toward Venom and says, oh, hey, Peter's not here anymore, Dad. And then eventually they start, Spider Carnage and him fighting. And Torment's like, okay, that's it. I'm out. You guys are monsters. I'm going to go.
This is too much. I'm out of here.
This is too much for me. I'm going to go find the ants and kill them myself. And so as Spider Carnage and Venom are fighting, Mary Jane at one point comes out and tries to convince Peter it's me. It's like, but Spider Carnage is like, no, and infesting Venom and trying to get the spiders in there and try to take over, when all of a sudden somebody picks up the shocker gauntlet and punches Spider Carnage to the face, and it's Eddie Brock to the rescue, who somehow found out where they were, I guess, at the Peace Center. So even though I don't think, and so it was on the news. Yeah, he's fine.
The news
he's
of the hospital.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it did. But anyway, and then it's enough for Peter to get back his senses, and then at some point, I guess, yeah. And at some point then Carnage's like, hey, what? And that's when Peter basically says, I'm going to teach you, Carnage, a lesson about strength. Saying that you tried to drown me in pain and anger, and, killing an enemy, that's such an easy thing. It's very easy and childish to get in. It's childish to get into that. So I'm going to show
quick,
you.
When I read this, I envisioned JR's eyes rolling. I could just see, he's not going to love this. Oh, look, we're going to kill these evil people that kill so many people, and we're just going to kill. We're going to heal them with love.
Yes, because Peter Parker tries to shows Carnage the power of love and goodness by attempting to kill Carnage.
Did that. The power of love.
Yeah, but he attempts to kill. But he does look like he attempts to kill Carnage with this, actually. So wait, what? But anyway, Carnage is like, oh no, I'm melting away like the Wicked Witch, and he just crawls away and just kind of falls on the floor, crawls away. And that's when Andy Venom decides to like, oh well, after getting his ass kicked, and he just got last issue, he comes up and is like, hey, I guess we're all good. It's like, don't worry about this. So I think, and Venom's taking care of Torment, and then Eddie, meanwhile, he's just going to go, oh, I'm just going to rest here and everything like this. And then Spider-Man says, hey, thanks, Eddie, but you still suck. And so, but meanwhile, we get into, but meanwhile, we find Torment is attacking the ants. And then that's when Venom kind of bursts in. It's like, and he takes Torment and just grabbed and just bursts him out the window, drags his face across the side of the building up to the top. and then he goes, and then Torment just starts taunting Mary Jane. He says, saying, okay, you're Mary Jane Watson, developed thing. And then he said, and then he starts going into this thing about how, look, I'm trying to do you a favor. I'm trying to help you all. And here's the thing. I'm just trying to provide you comfort with, Anna love and care. And then after that, I'm going to go after, May Parker. And I can tell you called Spider-Man Peter. So it's pretty clear that you, Mary Jane, and the Venom symbiote, you love him. But that's okay. I'm going to still help him. And because as soon as I go after everybody he cares about, and I'm going to then help him stand the quiet. And then I'm going to show him his heart and shove it down his throat. And that is the point where Venom, or is it Mary Jane?
Or Mary Jane, yeah.
Just lets him go and lets him drop to his death with a splat.
And at that point, I saw JR cheer in my brain when I read this.
And Spider-Man and Annie Venom, they show Agent Annie show up and says, "Hey, Venom, what happened?" He says, "Where is he?" And then Venom goes, "He fell." And then, but Aunt Anna and your Aunt May need help. And so we cue a montage of what happens where the paramedics arrive, help the aunts. Mary Jane and Peter go out there to hug him. While this is going on, we then hear a conversation that Peter and MJ are having about what happened afterwards and how MJ went to visit Flash, and I guess they talked for hours, but he's not a good listener. We cue this thing of showing Flash longingly look at a photograph of back during, I guess, the Ross Andrew days where Flash was trying to take MJ away from Peter, and he's got his hands. He's like looking at sadder times and maybe pining for Mary Jane, who may not feel the same way over him, and all this stuff, and just like those were the days, and I miss him.
The way Glenn Miller played.
Yeah,
those were the days.
And
all right.
And then Mary Jane says, and also we find out that Eddie apparently has turned himself in or got arrested. And basically is now in jail. And for, I guess, Carnage's crimes. It's not really clear why, but then Eddie comes to visit him in hospital. And then as Peter and MJ are talking to the phone, he says, how he's kind of trying to reassure Mary Jane. MJ says, well, sometimes we can't always do what, we can't always save everything with powers. And sometimes it's, we've got to be, but we still got to be, we still have to be heroes and so forth. And then he says, you did do the best you could when you tried to come to saving Torment, right? Right, MJ? You didn't just, you did try to say him. I want to hear you say it and then MJ goes, well, Peter, look, the good guys won. Let's just leave it at that. And then as she's saying this, we close up onto a newspaper where it says the killing spree has ended, Torment dead, which interestingly enough shows a picture of Paul. So I guess Paul was the real villain all along. So yeah. So
it's the villains we met along the way.
Yeah, because again, I think, I guess this Paul guy was Torment. I guess because literally that's what you would conclude reading this, right? So, but yes, it's the killing spree and Torment is dead.
Poor bastard got framed even when he's dead. Okay. Let's see.
And then we cut to the epilogue where we see Peter Parker's long lost cousin, aka the guy known as Mr. Crane. He's driving along in his car, and he's on a phone call, and he says, look, I want you to set up an appointment with a doctor because I just found out some interesting thing about my relatives, and I want to do a genetic screening. And if you look at the way that last panel is, those look rather like a sinister looking look on those eyes there a little bit. So this guy
looks a bit ravaged.
Yes. And it is to be continued.
Okay.
So
There, let's check the letters pages for a Crawlspacer. There you go, Matt Roberts.
Yep.
He has a letter in there. Okay, so let's hear your grade, Mike.
This was a D.
Oh, okay. Josh.
F.
Whoa. Wow. Okay. Jesus. Okay, Tyler.
D-.
Oh, JR.
Glad I didn't waste my time reading it.
I didn't read this issue either. It's an Amazing Spider-Man issue.
It wasn't amazing. Yeah.
Evidently, you missed subpar Spider-Man. Okay, Christina, grade.
This is the last good grade I'm giving. B+.
Okay, I'll give it a B. I liked it. I liked the ambiguity. Did Mary Jane do it or did Venom do it? I thought that was my biggest pro of it. Mike, what's your pro out of it?
Okay, here's my pro with a big giant asterisk on it.
Okay.
I do find it very the way there's the idea of when Torment is the way he's killed, and whether or not the question is whether or not it was Venom or whether it was Mary Jane. I agree. There's the ambiguity there, and it is a kind of a fascinating look here because the thing is we have to Spider-Man. Yes, he does not go and kill his foes. We have, however, seen the past where Mary Jane doesn't have that compunction. She did try to kill the Green Goblin once upon a time in that Mark Millar series with trying to shoot him. So she does have, that in her. We also got to remember that the Venom symbiote used to be called the Lethal Protector. So it does have that predilection to do this.
It could bring out those emotions out of her, those deeper emotions.
Exactly. So so the question is again, is it and I think we get more clarification in another issue is Mary Jane influence the Venom symbiote's actions, or is the Venom symbiote subconsciously influencing her? And also and again, keep in mind that this bond that they have, it's
maybe
it's caused maybe Mary Jane's moral compass to go askew, or maybe and also this idea, what is Peter going to do? It's oh my gosh, the person I love and care about is maybe slowly turning into a monster. Maybe I have and also you got this idea of maybe Mary Jane, is she going to try to is going into the dark side? Can she wrest control? And are we going to see any of this in the Amazing Spider-Man? No. Why? Because Joe Kelly is more interested in writing about, I guess the Mountain Dew Starfire known as Ray Left the Wretched. It's more interested about his best friend who is who turns into one Mushroom Man, and of course the real reason why he was more interested in doing the story, because he's setting up Peter Parker's long lost cousin, aka Uncle Ben's illegitimate son, aka who I'm guessing is going to be Ravage. That's the real story he's interested. He's not interested in this really deep, complex, morally interesting stuff that's probably going on with Mary Jane and Venom. That's going to be left in the Venom series. So all this stuff that would be prime material to be tackled in the Amazing Spider-Man, we're not going to see it in this. We're not going to see it in this series. It's all going to be shoved off to the side. So there you go. That's kind of
pros.
That's what. Yeah. So.
Pros and cons, Josh, you gave it really low if memory serves.
Yeah, an F.
An F. Okay, why an F?
I go off of JR's thing. Maybe I'm just more personally offended by this one. In my opinion, I get there's the whole, was it Venom, was it MJ or the influence? I don't care. In my opinion, it's a little bit of character assassination. I never, to me, it doesn't seem like this is how MJ should be written. You can ask Brooklyn, my fiance. I ranted to her about this for 20 minutes on our walk today. I did not like this issue at all. This does not come across like MJ. I haven't felt like MJ was written the best in the last few bit. I haven't kept up with the Venom series, but still, this is not my MJ, and not in casted wrong. This is written terribly.
Tyler, what do you feel about this Mary Jane and the symbiote together? Is this out of character for you?
I'm someone who's did D- on this issue, and this was my one pro. This is my one pro, where I'm sort of in direct opposition to Josh there, just because this has actually been set up in the Venom series a little bit. Like with Madame Mask was directly attacking Paul and Dylan in her home. She blew up Paul's apartment just to get to MJ. Like she was seriously messing with MJ, and after MJ was like fighting Mask and the Mask teleported away, and MJ was like don't come back or I'll kill you. And MJ realized she's like I don't know if I was lying about that. And so it's things were ramping up for MJ. And so after all this Torment stuff, I'm kind of interested. I don't think this is totally out of line for how MJ's been feeling. And just I think I'm someone who wants like stuff to do like from a Venom book. I expect like some sort of interesting dynamic in the relationship between the symbiote and the host. That's why I like a Venom book.
Yeah.
And this is the first time in all of Ewing's run that he's done something interesting with that, with MJ specifically.
Yeah.
And so it's the one draw for me.
But notice what you just said, Tyler. You said Ewing's run, which is, and by the way, everything you said I think is correct. But this is Joe Kelly writing this. So
That's
again,
true.
It's like all this stuff that's happening here in the pages of Amazing Spider-Man. It's going to be, again, if people are going to be reading Amazing Spider-Man, it's like, no, all this stuff that happens with MJ, Mary Jane being developed in this thing. And that it's all going to be having to be in the Venom series, just like you're saying, like all this stuff about having to resolve this stuff, like is happening. Like it was in the Venom. You're reading Venom, right?
I had no idea about the whole thing with Madame Masker at all, but like it just seems like the last time I saw MJ compared to like it's very clearly.
Right.
I guess if you're only reading ASM, I guess she's like really torn up about Paul's death. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this. I mean, it does at least confirm. At least I will say this. At least it does kind of confirm that that Mary Jane does in fact still love Peter, because at least some part of her. Because if she didn't, at least I don't think. Because at some part of her, I don't think wouldn't have been. Even I think, and again, I think this is more of a. I think it even says this was something more of a subconscious thing, and then the Venom symbiote acted upon it. That's what I'm kind of reading this as. Like that this was more of the Venom symbiote than Mary Jane, although she was probably thinking like, oh, just let this guy die, and then oh wait, I didn't mean literally like this or something, but yeah, I think that was like, I mean, I do find, like I said, I agree with Tyler, I do find this fascinating and everything like this, and there's precedent set up. It's just like, but again, it's not going to be told in future issues of Amazing Spider-Man. You got to go to the Venom series, and people coming into this just reading the Amazing Spider-Man, it's like you, Josh, would be like, wait, this seems like character assassination. This seems come across like character assassination. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, but all
right. So, Christina, let's find out about the origin of Torment, or whatever it is. Yeah. Take me through this. We're proud again.
We got 3 pages of waste and space again. We open up with when Torment falls after an ugly picture of Venom.
We have taken a downturn in the art department.
Yes, we have.
Wow, look at that thing. Jesus.
Yeah, he says he's thinking about family as he's falling. Then we cut to a while ago in Vermont, where this guy named Rory, his brother dies, but then around the same time, his mother, his father, and I think his uncle all died around the same time. And so we cut back to his apartment, and Torment's over there waiting for him. And so he wants to know how he feels about him killing his family, and he's getting ready to tell Rory his story. And it turns out that he is just some random dude named Graham. And we cut back in time where we meet Graham with his brothers, his great aunt, his sister, his girlfriend that he had. And so his girlfriend's having a hard time with her family and stuff, trying to go off to college. And so Graham comes in, basically smokes the house and kills her family inside and stuff, because he knows that she's struggling, and with the he can't see the spiral around her anymore because it was basically choking her with all the issues that she was having.
I'm going to pull it back. This is there. Is that Graham right there?
No, that's Derek. That's his brother.
Which one's
the tall one?
The tall
this
one
guy?
with the spiky hair. Yep.
Okay, so that is Torment. Okay, got it.
Yep, that's Graham. And then obviously his
Die.
girlfriend ain't taking it too well, that because she's like, well, why didn't you kill your family? It's like, well, I love my family. So she's like, yeah, get off of me. And so, so we come back to Torment with this poor guy saying, so do you understand stuff? Then we learn that he's trying to find somebody when he's killing all these families so that somebody can get his powers after he's freed them from their spirals and stuff. So he ends up killing this poor soul too, who ends up being his 163rd kill. And so he thinks that he should maybe be 164, and then we cut to him on this thing called Void Chat talking to Mr. Redman, who we know is Carnage. And then he talks about how they met on the group chat. They have similar interests, and that's when Carnage tells Spiral that Spider-Man's name's Peter Parker. Then he's over there seeing the spirals of Eddie Brock, Peter Parker, and Mary Jane Watson. And so he thinks in his mind he was helping them getting rid of their spirals, but he's like, nope, all he got was fury. And so once again, we see him falling to his death. We see a nice frame of him going kersplat. So
look at that eyeball. Good God. Bro dead.
And then on the last couple pages, we cut to his funeral, if you will, with his family. And we meet his younger sister, Susie, who is mentioned in the book. And it turns out
look at those eyes.
Yep, she's got she has his powers because she's noticing the spirals now. And that's the end. And we will probably never follow up with this.
And then there's Dan Slott in the Spider-Mobile. Okay. All right, so let's go around the horn. Christina, what was your grade on the origin of Torment?
C+.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll give it a C also. You and I are simpatico tonight. Josh, origin of Torment.
D.
Okay. Mike?
D- for don't waste my time with this book.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
Tyler, the origin. Did you like the origin?
This is an F. This is a straight up F.
Oh, damn. Okay, JR, your grade?
Didn't even buy it.
Oh, okay. Well, after hearing the story told,
It'd be D minus. This was garbage. This is just utter garbage.
Yep.
okay.
Why in the world? No, why in the world is Marvel publishing shit like this? It's just offensive.
Like I said, it's like I said earlier. I could at least understand it if you just put this near the start of the event. I would understand that, but who cares after he's dead?
Yeah. It's just some guy.
Funny story.
When I read this, I thought
just
this is the quickest legacy character of all time. Like, such a quick turnaround to make her a legacy character, you know?
Yeah.
Christina, what did you like about it? You and I were an average book, I thought. The art was subpar.
The only thing I really liked about this story, even though he was just some random guy, I thought his story was interesting and how he sees the spirals of all these people. He's trying to free them of it's kind of like chains. And so he's trying to see if he can give his powers to somebody that he's able to free and stuff. So I did think that was interesting. So
I just can I bring up something quick? I know solicits lie all the time, but this was something that was announced for Death Spiral. It says fans will be left wondering the truth behind the murderer's dark motives and how deep his mysterious connection to Peter goes. And that just amounts to
no.
Carnage gave him a phone call, a text.
Yep.
And then in addition to that, Nick Lowe also said when Carnage hit the comic page, it made you think Venom wasn't that bad. Torment does that to Carnage here. He's not a symbiote. He's something much, much worse.
Oh, God,
so,
yeah.
They're showmen. They're showmen. They have to write that crap to get orders. It's blatant lying. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I do want to bring up something that's actually very impertinent to this discussion here, because I believe it was either because after Death Spiral ended and this issue was coming out, I think they talked to Nick Lowe, and I think maybe Joe Kelly about this, and it comes to find out this introduction is in their interview that when they're talking about who Torment was, they didn't actually have an identity for him. He was just going to be some mystery guy that they were going to put in, and the origin for Torment was literally an afterthought. Because they figured, oh yeah, he looked cool and he had a design. His design looked cool. And they think, and as they were developing the story, like, hey, maybe we can do the origin. So the origin came actually after all this. So they weren't even going to have an origin for this guy. They just decided to make an origin for this guy because they figured, oh, he looked cool. And as they were doing the story,
start with a
no,
Yeah.
But then when we get the origin,
Joey Z has a weird comment, and my heavens, if this is true, the cousin is going to get the spirals and be the new Torment. The sister is a red herring. Do you think?
No, I think.
I
the
mean,
thing is
that's a legitimate thing as opposed to the Ravage idea. Now, maybe this cousin is pissed that his whole family tree never got to meet.
I think there may be some of that.
I mean, that could happen. Maybe
I think there's some of that.
Maybe this first Torment was such a throwaway. It was the reason we're going to get to the cousin being a villain. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I think the thing is what they're doing with the ending of this, having the sister getting the powers of seeing the spirals. They're going to, I think, and I kind of have a feeling that that's going to be the last you're ever going to hear about any of this. Because again, it's one of those open-ended mysterious endings and everything like this. So Torment was just a guy that they just created for this event and they just kill off. Now, there's possibility that maybe somebody were thinking, oh, maybe they're in the hopes that maybe Torment will become, bring him back for something like Doomsday, for Superman, but
Spider-Man rarely gets a villain that'll stick around. I guarantee you, Spore's not lasting past this story. But Torment, I think, had possibility. I really do.
But I think the thing is the way they were looking at this, they're thinking, okay, well, he's just going to be part of this event, kill him off, and that's it. And I think they just and their mindset, and I think with Marvel's the Spider Office's mindset is, well, Torment's kind of cool, that kind of got a cool design. Let's give him an origin story, but we're still going to just leave it off the table and everything because just kind of leave him dead. But it's just one of these things. And I think that's my thing. The main con about this whole issue is the explanation we get of Torment's motivation, where he's saying, "Oh, I'm trying to help these people by having them get rid of their families," and then you find out, but I don't think that was his motivation is spelled out in the Death Spiral series, if I'm not mistaken, because I thought his whole thing was. But I think it just kind of muddied everything. It muddied everything more, interestingly enough. And and again, the fact I think we were all like prior to the podcasting, we're all thinking, oh, maybe this guy is Cletus Cassie, or maybe it's somebody who Peter knows and everything. And it turns out, oh no, it's just some random dude who has no superpowers other than the power of Ancestry.com, and he's able to basically and has like.
I love that line every time you say it. There's something to be said for a random dude, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because as it is now, every damn supporting character in Spider-Man gets superpowers and puts on a suit. Not everything has to be connected. Like, I kind of like the idea of a random introduced character.
I think that was... And I think that was something that Stan Lee, to be fair, that was something that Stan Lee and Steve Ditko wanted to do in the original side. I think they wanted to play with this idea of like, oh, I wonder who this masked guy is. Oh, I have no idea who this is. It's just some dude. It's just some random nobody. Oh, well,
I love it. I don't mind that. Let's introduce somebody new.
But here's the difference. Like, we basically got that with Eddie Brock. It's like Venom shows up. Who the hell is this? Next issue, he's a guy named Eddie Brock. We didn't wait 9 issues to find out who Torment is.
Yeah.
It was just some guy.
But the posing question that we have, and Citros has it, what the heck is up with this lady's neck? I mean, I agree. What's going on with this giraffe lady? I mean, come on now.
It's ET in disguise, obviously.
Torment phone home, all right? What's going on, man? Dear me, I hope not. Yeah. What is up with this? All right, what's in her ears? What are those? Cheetos? What the hell?
Those look like fish hook earrings. Like
fish
hooks.
My goodness. Woo, that's some bad art. All right. Any other thoughts on this one shot before we wrap it up? Okay. Let's go around the horn for final thoughts on the Death Spiral. Josh, I think you were D's and F's on this, right?
For the most part, yeah. I'm glad this is wrapping up. Like, I can't believe. Oh man, we'll get to the next show, but I can't believe that I liked Mushroom Man more than this.
I am the complete opposite of you, my friend. I can't believe we're so apart. I hated Mushroom Man and Mountain Dew chick on the couch. God dang. Coming up next on that, JR, the Death Spiral has ended. We've flushed the spiral down the toilet. It's done. JR, your final thoughts.
I have nothing more to say on it.
You just need a hug, my man. We need to all gather around, hug JR. Mike, final thoughts on the Death Spiral, the cousin, the dropping off the building, the splat, the eyeball coming out, the lady with the weird neck. Go.
I mean, when this thing started off, I mean, it was intrigued. I was a little bit intrigued, but man, did this thing really just, go down the drain, literally and metaphorically in so many ways.
Mike, you're the editor. Do you make this 4 issues? What do you do? How do you improve the story?
I would at least cut this in half. I would cut this in half in terms of length of things, because it did not need to be 9 issues. I would not have I would have at least have given Torment a little bit more than just because the way it was looked like, because he's able to take on Venom, Carnage, and Spider-Man by himself with Shocker gauntlets, even though he was just some dude with Ancestry.com powers. With one Shocker gauntlet, and it's just like, and that's the other thing. Shocker died for this, but at least we got.
Oh, he'll get better.
Well, at least we got rid of Paul. That's a consolation prize.
Get better.
So
you also have a lot of cooks in the kitchen on this. You got Al Ewing, you got Joe Kelly, and you got Charles Soule.
Mm-hmm.
You got 3 people that are writing one story and trying to space it out over 9 issues. So,
the other thing is too is this was something. And this was something that actually, I think this was something that was actually in the works even before Joe Kelly got on board Amazing Spider-Man. And you can tell that Joe Kelly really had his heart in this story, as in not so much because I guess he wanted to be, because I think he wanted to do his own. Because remember, I think his thing with Spider-Man in space and the Norman Osborn plot thing that he was doing, I think it got truncated because of this and because of this thing. And the question I have is,
a left turn, a big left turn.
Oh yeah, would we have been better off if Peter was still stuck in space as opposed to this? No.
Personally, I disagree. I hated Peter in space. I like pigs in space much better. Christina, final thoughts.
I did.
Pigs in space.
I did enjoy Death Spiral for the most part until we got to the very end where we find out Graham is just some random guy we don't know and we'll never see again. But the joys of the next 2 issues. So,
Tyler, you got some symbiotes in your ASM. Okay. You should be happy.
Oh, it's the key word being should. So yeah, the Death Spiral, I thought it started out pretty decently, and I like some of the Eddie Brock stuff and just like the dynamics, but slowly it just started getting worse and worse until the final crap finale with the I didn't even really go over my cons for the last issue, but like Torment gets webbed up by Venom, and this is when he doesn't have any gauntlet or anything. Next panel, we see him just ripping out of it somehow. He's just a guy, but he just rips out of webs, and then like Flash, and then Spider Carnage. It was just like a marketing gimmick. It didn't matter at all to the issue. It was just Spider-Man beats Carnage with the power of love. Cool. And then Flash Thompson shows up. By the way, I'm here. Hi, Peter. I'm one of your best friends. We haven't really talked since ASM 900, almost 100 issues. Anyway, I'll put Carnage in a tube. He doesn't, by the way. Carnage just gets away. And then Eddie just decides I'm gonna go to jail now. And then Carnage is like, yeah, I'm on a rat now. And then we end with a cousin I don't give a flying shit about. Like, so it's just what a great ending to Death Spiral. Just how did we get here? Just
how did we get here? I don't know. However, we have to have a moment of silence for Paul.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
We don't. We don't. Anyway, goodbye, Paul. You're not going to be missed. All right, we will be back to review Fungus Man versus Spider-Man. Josh is going to take that on. That ought to be interesting. All right, we will be back in just a few minutes. Join us.